Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube. Folks, we're coming at you with a video on CKB. What else would we be reviewing other than our beloved CKB today? So we're looking at a weekly chart. Before we dig into this, check me out on Twitter if you haven't already at Real Six Fig. I'm always dropping new videos, news, and charts. So check me out, hit me up. For example, today I dropped a video on a new NFT marketplace being built on Nervos network. Pretty exciting stuff. I am ready to see this thing take off. So check out the end screen and I will throw this video up there so you can just easily latch onto it after you're done with this video. So we're looking at CKB on a weekly chart. And weekly charts are interesting because here we have an entire week of data crammed into a single candle. It's very interesting to me to see how this stuff plays out. Currently, we have almost a doji star. I mean, you could say this is a micro spinning top. You could say that this is a doji star, depending on how good your eyesight is. But it's signaling a change in momentum is what that means. When we start seeing the doji stars break out, things are about to happen. So let's go ahead and see if we can rip into any Fibonacci time sequence. Really see if we can bite into this and maybe figure out if we're going to get any time sequence out of this. So it doesn't look like I can pinpoint much here on a weekly chart. Let's go down to a daily. One thing I want to do is measure this swing high to this swing low. Okay, so we are getting somewhat of a confirmation time sequence down here. I mean, if I move this candle over a little bit, this would suit the chart better, and technically this candle has a lower it has a lower body of a candle than this preceding candle. So with that said, we can see that this Fibonacci time sequence is very accurate. In hindsight, we can see it predicted a reversal here, predicted this mega drop off here, a reversal here, a reversal here. So what is going to happen on November 8th for CKB, or within a couple days of this? Nobody knows, and that's the crazy thing. So to get a better understanding of this, we will look at the 4-hour chart. I just want to make sure this stuff is lined up. Okay, so we are right in the November 7th, November 8th time zone. And what I'm seeing here right now is a clear path to a symmetrical triangle. So I'm almost thinking that we might see CKB here over the next couple days kind of bounce around in between this 0.0135 and 0.015 level. And I'm hoping this is what happens on the 4-hour chart. I'm hoping that we can at least get this price action above this 200 moving average, because we did just have a golden cross here. And I'm hoping that we can maybe shoot this price action right through this channel or somewhere in here over the next few days to get price action on top of the cloud. And if that does happen, I do think CKB will likely go into some sort of nice pattern setup, like an ascending triangle or something like that. Now, this November 7th date is sticking out at us. We don't know what that means, and I'm not even going to try to speculate what that means right now. It's too far out. We don't know. So, with that said, we need to figure out what's going to happen with this symmetrical triangle that is forming. One could argue that this is coming off a bear leg, and this could be a continuation to head further downward. One could argue that, hey, we've got a nice run up here. Maybe this is some distorted symmetrical triangle flag that's hanging off it to move upwards. So we really do have to play the waiting game with this one, but I would definitely like to see this at this point in time cruise up and maybe form a long drawn out ascending triangle or something like that. But it wouldn't surprise me if this was some sort of corrective wave either. So those are our two options right now. And let's just see here. So I'm going to get rid of this time sequence. And one question I got a lot in the last video was speculating on price if this thing launches upwards. So, I mean, there's kind of a rule of thumb. If you get a good ascending triangle, I think we can all agree that this probably is the top trend line. Sometimes you can get an idea as to the height from the top trend line to the lowest point, or the starting point of the ascending triangle. So we stack that on top like so, and we can see that brings us right around to 0.026, somewhere in there. So interestingly enough, let's just go ahead and measure this out. I was going to say, I want to look for the 127 mark around the tip of this, and that's exactly what we get here. So I do think that if we move up, it's to 0.0260, and this might even rip up to 3 cents. I mean, it's just a conservative guess here. I would say once this thing starts moving, if it does, because it could move downwards too, this could just be one big setup for a nasty corrective wave. I'm not seeing that right now, but I'm thinking that this 0.026 to 0.034 level, we just have to kind of cross the bridge when price action starts accelerating. So conservative estimate, I'm guessing a 1 to 2x from here before we see this thing settle down and maybe reconsolidate like we saw here. But, you know, nonetheless, we are fully capable, like I said, of making a huge run up like we did previously. And I mean, I just can't help but to think and just point this out once again, that Nervos Network could just be setting up right now for an insanely huge run up. And if we take, what I want you guys to do is look at, bear with me 1 second here. Look at this area here. And then look at this area here. And you can see a very sharp resemblance between these two points. And so even if we go ahead and manipulate the previous trend and just kind of move it upwards a little bit, bear with me 1 second here. You know, just by simply moving it, all I'm doing is showing you that the price action is kind of moving in the same direction. So that's crazy to me to see. And like I was mentioning in the previous video, that we could be gearing up for a 20-cent CKB by January, somewhere in there. And I'm not trying to bullshit you guys or anything like that, but this is a possibility, especially if we see price action start to rip out of this ascending triangle pattern here. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, this looks very similar to what we saw down here, just a little bit different of a size. And furthermore, I just want to double up on this quick, just a double up. So let's go ahead and measure this point here to this point here, and we can even see how, okay, so that's not going to work. Well, one thing that caught my eye here was this point here to this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here, to this point here, this point here, to this point here. So you can really see a lot of these same similarities that are playing out right now with CKB. So I'm really happy about the price action of this, and I do think that We are sitting decent on CKB. I'm going to quit blabbing because right now we are looking good until we are not. I will be updating you guys on Twitter, throwing down some charts. So if you guys are not following me and you're holding CKB, you guys better follow me at Real6Fig. I'll try to drop charts when I cannot make a video. So big shout out to all the Patreons today. Thank you so much for your support. It's $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner by becoming a Patreon. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we will review CKB again tomorrow.